Alright, today we are welding with the Magicwave 230i, and I'm just going to show you how to set it up as you get it. So these are a 110 220 machine, and right here we have our plug-in, and you'll have your different cables. I'm plugging into a 110 right now. You just line up the holes and twist, and we're good to go. And to take it out, pull the red lever out, and you're good as well. Since these machines are from Austria, they have a different adapter for the gas nozzles. If you're running a regular argon gas regulator, you need this adapter on, and it just threads on. And make sure it's tight, and you're good to hook up your argon. As we move back to the front of the machine here, I hooked up my torch and my ground cable, and they are labeled where each one goes, so you don't have to worry about that. Also, right here we have our communication port. I can either hook up the cable from my torch or a foot pedal, depending on what I want. If I hook my foot pedal up, I do not have any adjustment on the ramp up or ramp down because I am controlling it all off the foot pedal. Alright, so I'm just going to flip it on real quick. Flip the switch. It'll take a second. Erroneous symbol will show up, and it'll take a minute to load everything up. Before you start to weld, always check your coolant level. Make sure that it's high enough. If there's an issue with the coolant, either the flow rate or anything like that, there will be an error that pops up, and you have to acknowledge it before you can go on, and it'll just keep the machine safe so you don't burn up a torch or anything like that. Right now I have my communication cable for my torch plugged in. So what this allows me to do is start everything right here off of my thumb. So as I pull down, you can hear it trying to establish the arc. And on this one, I can actually adjust my amperage right here from my thumb. And so as I go up, it'll drop it down. And I can fine tune as I weld right there off my torch. And it also has a LED light that I can use as I start the weld off, and as soon as the arc turns on, then the light will go away. Makes it a little bit nicer when you're trying to weld in a dark spot and you don't have to flip your helmet down and wait for the shade to come off. You have a little bit of extra light on it. Right now I'm going to show you what happens when it airs out. I'm going to get a no arc error pop up here. So I'm going to hit my arc, and there's a timer on the machine, and if it doesn't detect the arc in a certain amount of time, I will get an error code. And so I have an error 18, and it's saying that it hasn't registered arc in that time off. And I'm just going to show you how to get out of the error. I can either click in on the button, or if I let it air out again, I can use the torch trigger, and if I hit it again, then the error will go away. It's always a good thing to get the error number so you can call your Fronius rep and tell them what issues you're having if you can't figure it out by yourself. And they will be able to tell you off of that error code. These torches are a quick change neck, and so if I line up the two white arrows, I can change them out real quick, and I just line them up and pull out. And with them, you can also rotate to whatever angle you want, and you can weld with that. You just cannot weld with it at the arrows lined up, because if you knock your neck around a little bit, it can pop out and it will spray coolant everywhere. So as long as you do not have those arrows lined up, then you'll be good. Once it is fully locked in the 90°, it will click in, and to release it, you just push the button back in and you can turn the other direction or wherever you want it to set it. So this is the main screen on the Magicwave, and our first option we have is our starting current. So this is going to say when I hit my trigger on the torch, it's going to be 50% of the main current. And my next one is my upslope, and this is how long it's going to take me to get to that 100% of the main slope. And as I click in, it will highlight blue, and I can change my time on there, or I don't have to have it on there. If I have it off, it's just going to be to the 100% and the starting current. Right now we're on the main screen as you powered it up, and I'm just going to show you how to navigate through real quick. Your knob here is how you control everything. So as I just click over, it will give me my different options. So we're going to set up for doing some stainless, and so I need to change my polarity. All I do is I click in and I turn to the left and it'll go to DC. If I go back to the right, it'll go AC. And then I click back in and it will not be highlighted anymore. And so I can go to my next menu item. And so this is my start current. And so it's how much of your main current you want right when you pull the trigger. And I have it set at 50. This I can go up to, I believe, 200%. And what's going to happen on me right now is with this, I'm going to get an error because I'm only plugged into the 110. I can only do up to 170 amps. So if I tried to start the weld off, then it would give me an error, and I'd have to clear it out, and I'd be asking why I'm getting this error when it lets me set that up. But I'm just going to go to 100% for right now. Eventually I'm going to switch over to a foot pedal and do it from there, and so this will go away as well. But I have my upslope, so this is good for with the torch. If I'm using the finger buttons, I can say, okay, for 0.3 seconds, my slope is going to be whatever the percentage I set it up. So if I went to 125 or 130, it's going to be 130% of my amperage for 0.3 seconds. And now as I move over to the main current, I can adjust it wherever I want. I'm just going to leave it at 100% or 100 amps, excuse me. And then this is my drop current. So on that trigger, when I hit it and tell it to quit, it's going to drop down to 50%. So 50 amps. And my slope is how long it's going to be on for to take it down to that 50 amps. And so that is my main screen here. Alright, so now we're going to go to the menu options, and so I'm going to hit the menu button, and up here we'll have our different categories that we can go to. If I move the knob at all, it'll drop to the menu. To move from different categories, I have to be up on the top, and I click in, and then I can switch to the different categories in that menu. And so one neat feature that the Magicwave 230i has is called tacking function, and if you do any kind of stainless, it is amazing for that. It puts a frequency into the arc, and it sucks your puddle together. And so since I'm going to be tacking some stainless together, I am just going to put it on for about a second, and I'll show you what the difference is between those. With our pulse frequency, a stock machine will go up to 2,000 hertz out of the box. If you want more hertz than that, you can get the pulse frequency package, and it will take you all the way up to 10,000 hertz. This one has been equipped with that. We won't weld with that. I probably won't even use the pulse frequency, but it's nice knowing that if we want to, or if we need to cool it down with a pulse, we have that wide range of frequencies that we can use. The next important thing we need to check is our water cooler to make sure that it is on. I have it turned off now so I can make this video, but before I go, I am going to come down and I'll turn it on to auto. Another cool feature with these machines is the job function. We can save up to 1,000 jobs on here, and with our torch, as we go through with our finger buttons, we can switch from job to job. So if we have them all lined up how we need, we can switch that job and never have to come back to the machine. Alright, so earlier I was showing you the error code with the ignition timeout, and so I'm going to come up here to the menu and move over to the one with the cap, and down on the third item we have our ignition timeout. And so if by some reason someone messes with your machine and they turn it all the way down to 0.1 second, so when you hit your go button it arcs or it tries to find the arc and it doesn't in time, it will error out and you'll be like, what's going on here? This is something to check out. It doesn't really matter where you set it as long as you know where you're at. 5 seconds is a good spot. It's where it becomes stock, and it's just a decent time so you can get to your piece and know where to tack. Alright, to exit the menu, we just hit the menu button again. The star button, it will bring up all of our quick jobs, so I can save 5 easy jobs, and it will switch to... Alright, to get out of our menu, we just hit the menu button again. And now if we go down to the star button, what this is our easy jobs. I have my numbers down here. We can have up to 5 easy jobs. And to save a job, it's like saving a radio station. I just hold on or push in and it'll go green or red if I hold it in too long. What red does is it deletes it, but if I hold again, I'll go to green, let go, and now this job is saved. So if I come back up, I'll click in and it will let me go through my different options here. And then if I hit my star button again, I can go to the second job, and so it should change. It went from AC to DC, and we can save 5 of them right like that. Our next button over here is our process button. As I click it in, I can go from TIG to stick or to my job mode. I also have my trigger function, so I have a 2-step, 4-step, or a spot function. To select it like any other one, you just go and highlight it and then click in. The machine will remember where you left off with each process, so as I go back, it's going to be where I was when I left off. And then I have my purge button as well. As you hit it, you'll hear the gas solenoid in the back turn on and click. Each torch and foot pedal that Fronius makes has a device ID in it. So as we connect it to the machine, it knows what is connected and knows how to change along the way. So as I plug my foot pedal in here, you'll see that the machine, it just realized that there's a foot pedal turned on or plugged in, and so now it's going to know how to read the arc as I let off the foot pedal or whatever I do on it. Alright, now we're going to talk about some of the AC functions. We have a cap shaping function, and so if I turn it on, it'll say that the cap will be formed during the next weld start. And so as I start the next weld, it will make a perfect cap on the tungsten for me. The other thing I need to do is select the right size of tungsten that I'm going to be using, so it knows how big of a cap to put on it. If we go into the menu off of the AC, we can go down and we can adjust all of our frequencies and our offset as we go into the welding menu. So before I start welding here, I'm just going to run through it one more time. I'm on DC negative. Starting current, that doesn't matter for what I'm doing because I have the foot pedal and I have no time on my upslope. I'm at 100 amps and that doesn't really matter because I'm going to be controlling it with my foot pedal. I'm at 1.6 millimeters. And my last thing I want to do is make sure my cooler is going to turn on. And so I'm going to go to auto. I'm going to be shown the tacking feature, and so you'll hear it when I start the arc for 2.5 seconds. There will be a frequency in the arc and it will sound a little different, but it will go straight to a DC current after that. Here is the tacking feature. As you can see, it sucked that puddle in nice, and I didn't have to sit there very long and work the puddle because of the frequency. Alright, now I'm going to show you what happens when you let the timer run out on the pulse frequency. It'll go to a straight DC negative arc, and you'll see the difference. This is a overview of the Magicwave 230i. It's a great little machine. The things I like about it are the 110 capability and being able to run up to 170 amps without popping breakers.